People talk about money as if it's the destination, as if one day they'll arrive, unpack their stress, and finally rest. But money was never meant to be a place. It's a tool, and tools don't give comfort. They give leverage. That misunderstanding ruins lives quietly. Most people don't want wealth. They want certainty. They want to stop worrying. They want the noise in their head to shut off. They want to feel like nothing bad is about to happen. And they assume money will do that. It won't, because anxiety isn't caused by a lack of money. It's caused by a lack of control. You can have more than enough money and still feel hunted by your own life. Deadlines, expectations, maintenance, appearances, people depending on you, bills that scale upward the moment your income does. That's not freedom. That's a nicer cage. Most people never notice when the cage gets built, because it's decorated. It starts small. A better phone, a nicer apartment, a more respectable car. Each upgrade feels harmless, deserved even, but every upgrade quietly raises the minimum income required to stay calm. And once your calm depends on constant income, you're not wealthy, you're fragile. Fragility is the real enemy. The wealthy don't fear losing money. They fear losing optionality. Optionality is the ability to say no, to walk away, to pause. Most people lose that ability early and never get it back. They trade it for comfort, then for convenience, then for status. And by the time they realize what they've done, their life requires too much money to function. So they keep running. This is why income alone never solves the problem. You can double your income and still feel poor if your lifestyle expands faster than your margin. Most people don't increase margin. They increase obligations. That's why raises feel good for about 3 months. Then life adapts. Expenses rise, expectations recalibrate, and the stress returns, slightly worse than before. Because now there's more to lose. Money amplifies who you already are. If you're disciplined, money compounds. If you're reckless, money accelerates destruction. This is why sudden wealth is dangerous. It removes friction before removing ignorance. People think wealth disappears because of bad investments. It rarely does. It disappears because of lifestyle, ego, impatience, and boredom. Boredom is lethal to wealth. People underestimate how much damage boredom does to financial decisions. They feel the urge to do something, to move, to upgrade, to chase. Markets reward patience. Life rewards restraint. But culture rewards excitement, so people feel stupid doing the right thing. They feel behind when they're actually safe. That psychological pressure breaks more portfolios than crashes ever will. The hardest part of money isn't learning how to earn it. It's learning how not to touch it. Most people can't stand the idea that the correct move is often nothing. They want progress they can see, action they can justify, proof that they're doing something meaningful. But compounding doesn't feel meaningful day to day. It feels boring, invisible, slow. That's why most people interrupt it. They pull money out early. They change strategies constantly. They chase returns instead of protecting capital. They don't realize that survival is the strategy. You don't need brilliance to win financially. You need durability. Durability beats intelligence over long timelines. Intelligent people often overestimate themselves. They believe they can outthink risk. Disciplined people respect risk. They don't need to be right often. They just need to avoid being catastrophically wrong once. Most people don't lose money gradually. They lose it all at once, through leverage, through overconfidence, through decisions made during emotional spikes. Wealth demands emotional flatness, not excitement, not panic. Flatness, the ability to treat money like math, not identity. The moment money becomes identity, you're finished, because identity can't tolerate loss, and loss is unavoidable. Every investment loses sometimes. Every business struggles. Every income stream pauses eventually. If your self-worth is tied to your net worth, every fluctuation feels like a threat. That's not a financial problem. That's a psychological one. The richest people understand something quietly. Money is there to reduce pressure, not create it. That's why they focus on downside first, not upside. They ask, what happens if this goes wrong? Can I survive this failing? Does this reduce or increase dependency? Most people ask the opposite. How much can I make? How fast can this grow? What can this buy me? Those are entertainment questions, not survival questions. Survival questions build wealth. Entertainment questions destroy it. This is why real wealth looks unimpressive. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't sparkle. It doesn't rush. It sits in the background doing its job. Meanwhile, visible wealth is usually borrowed. Debt is the drug of modern comfort. It lets people live a life they haven't earned, at the cost of future freedom. Debt steals tomorrow to decorate today. And the price isn't just interest, it's anxiety, rigidity, fear of income disruption. Once you owe, you lose leverage. You can't slow down. You can't say no. You can't take risks that don't pay immediately. Debt turns people into employees of their own lifestyle. They think they own things. In reality, things own them. That's why many high earners feel trapped. They earn well, but they need to. They can't pause. They can't pivot. They can't step back without everything collapsing. That's not success. That's performance pressure. True wealth reduces performance pressure. It lowers the volume of life. It gives space.
Let me start with something uncomfortable, but important.
Intentionally.
Most people believe that if they
Space to
just
wait.
work harder, earn
Waiting
more,
is
and stay
underrated.
disciplined, wealth will
Waiting
eventually
is where
follow.
good decisions come
That
from.
belief feels
People
logical.
ruin their
It
finances,
feels fair.
trying to
And it's
escape
exactly
waiting.
why it keeps
They
people
chase
stuck.
stimulation
Because the truth
instead of
is,
stability.
wealth is not
But
primarily
stability
created by effort.
is what
It's created by
compounds.
structure.
The irony
Once you
is that the
understand
behaviors
this,
that create
money
wealth
stops feeling
are
mysterious
socially invisible.
and starts feeling
No one
mechanical.
applauds restraint.
The pattern
No one
behind wealth.
praises modesty.
When economists,
No one
researchers,
notices
and financial
consistency.
historians
But
analyze how the
everyone
wealthiest
notices
people in the
collapse.
world actually built
That's
their money,
why
the
social
pattern
pressure
is remarkably
pushes
consistent
people
across
toward visible
countries,
consumption
generations, and
instead
industries.
of invisible
Roughly,
security.
75%
People
are
don't
business
want
owners.
to feel
Around
left
15%
behind.
are investors.
So they
A small
sacrifice their
portion
future to
inherit
feel
structured
included
wealth.
in the
A
present.
tiny fraction earn through rare
That
extreme
trade
talent.
never ends well.
Athletes, entertainers,
If you
artists at
define
the very
enough
top.
early,
And here's the
life
part that
becomes
surprises most people.
If you
Almost
never
none
define
rely
it,
primarily
no
on a
amount can
salary.
satisfy you.
That doesn't mean jobs are
Enough
bad.
isn't a number.
Jobs are stable.
It's a
Jobs
boundary.
provide income.
It's
Jobs
knowing
can be
when
honorable
additional
and
money
meaningful.
stops
But a
improving your
salary
life
alone almost
and
never
starts
creates
complicating
long-term
it.
financial freedom.
Most
Why?
people
Because
skip
salary
this
is
step.
capped. Time is
They
capped.
assume
Energy
the
is
answer
capped.
is more. More
The
income,
wealthy
more
understand something
assets,
simple.
more
They don't
lifestyle,
work for money.
but more
They own
without
systems that
limits
money
becomes
flows through.
noise.
Entrepreneurs own
Noise
companies,
creates
investors
confusion.
own assets,
Confusion
heirs own
creates
structures,
bad
top
decisions.
performers own rare
Wealth
leverage
requires
skills.
clarity.
So the real divide
Clarity
isn't
about
intelligence.
needs.
It isn't
Clarity
discipline.
about
It isn't
risk.
even opportunity.
Clarity
It's
about
ownership.
what you're
If
protecting.
you don't own something
The
that
goal
produces
isn't to be
value, then your
rich.
time,
The
attention, and
goal is to
labor
be
are the assets
unburdened.
being rented. That's the part most
Unburdened
people
by
never consciously
unnecessary
realize.
expenses.
The real question.
Unburdened
So
by
the real
constant
question
comparison.
becomes, how do normal
Unburdened
people
by the
start
need
owning
to
things
impress.
without already
Freedom
being
is
rich,
subtraction.
connected, or lucky?
Remove what
That's where
you
the
don't
framework
need.
I'm about to share
Avoid
comes
what
in.
adds stress.
I call it the
Protect what gives
25-15-50-10 rule.
That's it.
This system
Everything
isn't about
else
how
is
much you
optional.
earn. It works at
People
almost
think
any
this
income
mindset
level.
is
It's about how
pessimistic.
you divide
It's
what
not.
you earn.
It's
I've
realistic.
used this framework for
Optimism without
decades. I
discipline
didn't grow
is
up with
delusion.
money. I didn't
Hope
have
doesn't
connections. I
compound.
didn't have a financial
Systems do.
education. I didn't
Money
have
rewards
investors waiting
those who
for me.
treat it
What I had
impersonal.
was structure,
No
and
emotion,
structure changes
no
everything.
urgency,
Let's
no
break
drama.
it down.
Just arithmetic.
25%.
Time
Growth.
does the heavy lifting.
This is
if
the
you
money
let
that
it.
works while
But
you
time
sleep.
only
The
works
first
for people who
25%
don't
of your
sabotage
income
it.
is dedicated
Most
to
people
growth,
sabotage
not
themselves
comfort,
in
not
motion.
appearances, not
They
instant
react
pleasure.
instead
And
of
by
plan.
growth, I don't mean vague
chase instead of
self-improvement or
wait.
motivational spending.
spend
I mean
to feel
assets.
something.
Assets are things that increase
That's
in
not a money
value,
issue.
generate income,
That's
or
a
increase your
self-control
future
issue.
earning power. Most people
And
do the
no
opposite.
amount of
They get
income
paid,
fixes
they pay
that.
bills,
If
and
you
whatever
can
is
master
left
boredom,
gets spent on
delay
things that disappear within
gratification,
weeks.
and
That's not
remain
accidental.
calm when
The
others
modern
panic,
system is designed to
you'll
keep people
outperform
comfortable
most
short
people
term,
without
stressed
ever
long
appearing
term,
impressive.
dependent on the next
Because
paycheck,
the real
no margin,
advantage
no
is
buffer,
invisible.
no ownership.
It's
Once you
peace,
see this, you
peace of
can't
mind,
unsee it.
peace of
Growth
schedule,
assets are
peace
anything
of
that
choice.
produces value without your
And
constant
peace doesn't
presence.
come from
Examples:
accumulation.
index funds,
It comes from
dividend-paying
knowing
stocks,
when you have
businesses,
enough,
intellectual
and
property,
having the discipline to
income-generating
stop.
skills. Your money should
That's
have a
the
job,
part
just
no
like you
one
do.
teaches.
Why time
That's
matters
the
more
part
than
that
effort.
separates people
Let me show you
who look
something most
rich
people
from people who are
underestimate. Imagine
actually
two
free.
people.